So I think we're on now, so hello and welcome to everybody. And as I was saying just a moment ago, thanks to Alina Frank, who's with us today. Alina, hello.
Hi, Gary.
And I know you're going to be helping us, aren't you, to look into relationships, both for singles and couples today.
Yes, I am. Going to be sharing some of my tools. In fact, I think I have a few things here that very few people know.
Right, okay. So we're in for a special treat then, yeah? And it's a visual thing as well, isn't it? Because you have some slides for us.
Yes.
So what kind of areas are we going to be going into then with relationships? Because I know, it's a thing that everyone tries to deal with, don't they, within their life. You can't avoid relationships.
No, you certainly can't. We're really hardwired to be social, and what I find, and one of the reasons why I really wanted to focus my work on relationship challenges is because other methods just don't really work. Traditional couples counseling has the lowest success rate of any other style of counseling, and 25% of couples who were studied after they finished couples counseling actually got worse. Their relationship actually deteriorated as a result of the work they did in counseling.
Yeah. But some relationships maybe, would you say, they're not a relationship anyway, and maybe it's time to move on? Is that kind of relevant as well?
Oh yeah, we're going to be getting into that, and I call that the relationship nexus point.
Right.
So, and then there, the other things that people try when they're either looking for a relationship or trying to deal with some of their relationship challenges is sort of making contracts and agreements, trying to fix dysfunctional patterns of behavior, going to couples skills training or communication workshops are really popular. But the studies show that more than half of those couples that attend those kinds of things will relapse into their just their normal way of interacting within 6 months. Right.
Okay. And people will be able to ask questions as we go along. Well, towards the end of the broadcast today, and we're here for about an hour, and we'll be able to share this broadcast as well with other people, if they've missed a call or whatever later on. So we hope to get that inside the EFT hub. And so, shall we get underway and get into relationships?
Sure. So the other thing I just wanted to say about what the studies kind of point to. There's a whole new field called social neuroscience, and many people have heard of the mirror neurons. And they really explain the circuitry that happens when two people are interacting, and especially when they're in relationship. And like I said at the beginning, we're just social beings. And the good news and the bad news is that we're constantly making each other feel a little good, a little better, or a little worse. And that's constantly happening in our interactions. Yeah.
You can see, can't you, when people sort of first fall in love across the table, they're like in unison, aren't they? Even breathe together, don't they? And the heartbeat syncs and everything. So
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, last night we were hosting a party here, and I said something like, "Oh, I need a glass of water," and my husband turns to me and he says, "Get out of my head," because he was thinking that at the same moment, and that happens constantly when you're in relationship. There's almost like you share a third brain together.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're going to get questions, aren't we, from people. They can type that in the box here. So, if you want to keep an eye on that box as well, in case someone's asking a relevant question about, what you're talking about at the time. So that would be helpful, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you wouldn't mind just manning that, and also any in the questions, there's also a little chat box so people can interact with each other as well.
Right.
And so I'm just going to keep going, and you just jump in, Gary, if someone's got a burning question.
Right. Okay. It's amazing what we can do with technology, isn't it?
I know, it is. It's fun.
Right.
It's great.
So are you bringing together EFT in this as well, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. Yesterday there was a friend of ours, Dr. Mark Brady, who has a wonderful blog. Funny because I knew I was going to have this presentation today. His blog post was titled "Why the Field of Relationship Repair is Wide Open for Innovation." Right. And basically, the things that I described, the couples training and the couples counseling, what ends up happening, though, in the practical side of being in a relationship is that when your fear response is triggered, you can't think. You know, a large percentage, I think it's between 70% or somewhere thereabout, it's either 70 or 80% of the blood immediately drains from the frontal cortex, and you really don't have time to think about, gee, now what was it that workshop facilitator said? When she says that, I'm supposed to say blank. I mean, that just doesn't happen. And what EFT does is it clears out all of those things that are just below the surface that are there triggering you. And I will tell you that what EFT really does is it accelerates the process of what's meant to happen. It won't save a marriage if it's destined to end. It won't break up a marriage if it's destined to succeed. It just accelerates the process. And I'm going to show you in a minute that people really, really get stuck, and sometimes for months and years of being in this place, a holding pattern, until you say, you know, enough is enough. Let's work on this. And I just want to give people the resources and the tools to be able to do that earlier on. One fascinating point that I just recently read was that on average, couples wait 6 years before when they know they're in trouble. They wait 6 years on average before they actually seek help. So this is a way to help yourself and in your relationship, and we're also going to get into how to use EFT if you're single as well, and you want to have if you're seeking relationship.
Right. I know this question might not be relevant at the moment, but is there a kind of time scale where the average person does get into trouble with a relationship? Does it take time for that to show up?
Well, there was some interesting work that was done at the University of Washington in their famous Love Lab. And this was sort of set up like a bed and breakfast, except that the couples were like wired. They were checking their heart rate and their skin temperature, everything, neurological things. They were testing them the whole weekend that these couples were spending in this. And otherwise, it looked like a lovely setting on the lake. And what they found in the Love Lab was that couples either they predicted with great accuracy whether a couple was going to stay together or not. And the couples that they found that did a lot of bickering, sort of, those couples tended to fall apart somewhere in the first few years, up to like 5 years. And then there was a great lull where people just kind of stayed in a pattern of being together. If they weren't bickering, then the other couples that split up were those couples that had absolutely nothing in common. They wouldn't even hold a conversation. So they would see these couples in the Love Lab like having breakfasts in silence. And you see that all the time. You're out in public and you see couples that are, they might as well be in 2 different restaurants because they're not even looking at each other. So you would see the man reading the paper and the woman sort of doing something with the food in the Love Lab, and there wouldn't be a connection. And what they found was that those couples broke up, but usually around the 20-year mark.
Right. I very briefly, I can remember watching a chat show, where they're looking at happily married couples, and this guy with his wife sitting next to him says, "Well, I've been happily married for 50 years," but you could see in her eyes, that she didn't have any part in that.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is what I'd like people to sit with, is the idea that anyone really that comes into your life, and especially those people that come into your life to have some kind of romantic relationship with you, it is really all about, there are only 3 reasons why someone ever comes in to what I like to call the hologram. There's only 3 reasons why people are there. And if you know that, and if you really see it and feel it and know this to be true, you'll be a lot happier, and you won't be so upset about what's happening in the moment. You'll have a bigger perspective, and all of that you will get by using EFT. And so the 3 reasons: number 1, this person is mirroring a belief that you hold about yourself and or the world. So if you believe that all men are untrustworthy, then you will have men like that show up in relationship with you. If you have a belief that you aren't worthy of having someone just phenomenal in your life, then that's exactly what a person may show up and show you, is that that's a belief that you hold. Number 2, they're there to impart some knowledge or information. And number 3 is that they're making sure to lead you closer to your life's purpose. And another way to think of this is a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Okay.
And if you...
This is like patterns then. Is this where we formulate these patterns and the same things keep happening over and over again?
Oh, sure. And in fact, that's a clue. That's a clue that there's something really that's off that needs to be tended to. So now I'm going to share a little story with you.
Ah, right. I'm sitting comfortably now.
Get your warm glass of milk and your slippers.
And a blanket.
Yes. So once upon a time, there was a beautiful little girl who knew from as far back as she could remember that there was a boy out in the big wide world somewhere that was to be her one and only. And as fate would have it, she was blessed with parents that were deeply in love, and they showed her that this was possible. And throughout her life, she looked high and low for this man and this boy. And even though she created rich friendships and a real connection to God, she knew deep in her soul that she was meant to live a life in a deep partnership with one other person. And as time passed, she became a serial monogamist, going from one partner to another, hoping that this one was the one. One broke her heart. One absolutely wasn't the right one, although she almost married him. And finally, one came along that she sensed, that she knew in some strange, mysterious way. And in spite of a still small voice inside her that questioned this particular partnership, she married him. And over the course of many, many years, she noticed that life lost its excitement. During this time, she felt as if she was sleepwalking through life. She had somehow shut off her passion and wasn't really happy, but sort of numb. Her life circumstances made her feel trapped and stuck. Whenever she watched a romantic movie or read a prose by Rumi, she'd feel very sad. The one was still out there. And this brave girl, now a woman, made a choice. She was no longer willing to live a mediocre life. And she used all of her inner resources and a lot of EFT to work through all her past experiences with love, all her limiting beliefs, and left the one she had settled for. And almost 1 month to the day later, through time and space, in her small town of 786 inhabitants, she met her soulmate, earthmate, and is now living happily ever after. Right. So, I guess you can tell from that story that was me.
Yeah, and now I've got to lay down and go to sleep now. Is that right? What you do after
Sorry. So, for myself and for many of my clients, being in partnership feels like the greatest spiritual work that you can do.
Yeah.
And isn't it interesting that the heart is the most common symbol of romantic love? And it also is interesting, and not a coincidence, perhaps, that in ancient cultures they believed that the human soul lived in the heart.
Yeah.
And others think of it as a source of emotion and intelligence. And some of you that are familiar with matrix reimprinting EFT will really resonate with that belief as well.
We know so much more about the heart now, don't we? And the fact that it's got all the things it needs to virtually be a brain as such, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And in the field, when they're measuring the field of the brain versus the heart is 5,000 times stronger in energetic resonance than the brain. And study after study shows that a harmonious, committed relationship is good for not only your emotional well-being, but for your physical one as well.
Yeah, and you produce all those lovely chemicals, don't you, that you need?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So this is a quote from the poet Judith Adams, who wrote a beautiful poem for our wedding, and it basically talks about the one line: the old romances and the collage of your arrival, and everything that has shaped you lie at each other's feet. The gift of love's currency minted in the workshop of your hearts. It is what angels deal in. And so just know that everything that you're going through, even if it's just you're at the bottomless pit of despair with what's happening in your relationship. Again, going back to the very first thing that I said, which was those 3 reasons why people come into your life. If you get there with EFT, you will feel that all of this is leading to something else, that you're learning from it, that there are gifts in it, as bad as it may seem in the moment, and that it's either this relationship that's going to be transformed or it's going to be another one.
Right.
And this is the model that I came up with. This is what I call the relationship nexus point. And it's really, I wanted to have a visual understanding of what I saw over and over again with my clients. And at the very outer ring, you'll see the stay, leave, or separate. And that's where people, they feel really stuck. What do I do? What do I do? And there's no movement whatsoever, and you can get stuck here for a very long time.
Right.
In sort of a holding pattern. But if you go to the center where this all began, you'll see that it's really about healing as much as possible those key pivotal experiences from 0 to 7. That those really then go to the next circle, which create limiting beliefs. Core issues, core beliefs. I'm flawed, I am unworthy. And then at the next level, it's the pain body, that Eckhart Tolle talks about, the pain body. Right. It's the vibrational cellular experience. It's the fear, the anger, the sadness, the guilt. And then on the next level, what shows up in the relationship, right? The negative experiences. My husband forgot me in our anniversary, or she embarrassed me in front of my boss when she told me that I had forgotten some bit of information for the presentation. So all of those things are valuable to work on, but the closer that you can get to those key pivotal experiences and clear those, the easier these other things. It's sort of a ripple effect. If you throw a stone in a pond, you'll see all the ripple effects, and if you clear out what's happening in the center there, you'll see all these outer rings just change automatically.
Right. So anyone that's done EFT will be familiar, won't they, with that process of going back and tapping on those past issues.
Exactly. And then the negative cognitive manifestations of that is, what do you believe about that person, and the generalization, the stereotypes. I mean, I never get a person in my practice that says, last Tuesday, my husband told me that that I was an idiot for leaving the car out of the garage when it was sleeting or something. I never get that. I get people saying, I'm not treated well. I'm not treated with respect. My husband never ever thinks that I do anything that's worth a crap, and that sort of thing. It's just the way that our brains are wired. We tend to generalize and stick everything up in a category. And what you need to know about EFT is you need to get to those specific events in order to have real healing and transformation. Get to those specific events. And one question that you can ask yourself or your clients if you're a practitioner is, how do you know that to be true? How do I know that my husband doesn't care for me? And now you have a list of specific things.
Right, so those are the trees in your emotional forest, as it were, yeah?
Exactly. Right. And then the next layer here is the vibrational body and relationship, and that is the feeling of hopelessness, depression, and anger. And I will tell you that many times the presenting issue isn't about, oh, I'm depressed, or I feel a lot of anger. It's or I want to work on I want to work on my relationship. I rarely get that. It's okay, my finances are all screwed up. I'm having problems with my sex life. There's something that's holding me back from reaching my greatest potential in my career. And when we just start digging around, many times at the heart of it all is this problem that's showing up in relationship.
Because I was saying earlier on, wasn't it, that relationships are there all the time, aren't they? It's what we do.
Exactly. And it's a real gift if you see it that way. It's a way that you can work through these issues. Here's another clue that something is off. The more reactive you are in a relationship, the more early traumas you've got to clear. They just go hand in hand. You're reactive in relationship and you're triggered all the time, more than likely it has nothing to do with this other person. It's just showing you that you have things that need to be healed and addressed in a kind, loving way. You just accept that that's what's going on. Okay, if I'm taking full responsibility for what happens in my experience, in my reality, then I'm going to address this. And you can do it. You can do it in a very kind, loving way. And here's what happens when you go through that transformation. Is you have a transformed imprint. We use, matrix reimprinting, but also you can do this by clearing things and then feeling differently with just straight EFT. That you're working on those early memories and having a new insight as to why those things happen and being at peace and actually getting to the feeling state of, boy, my parents did that so that I could learn X. My parents did that so that I could move further down my path to my life's purpose. And sometimes, what the soul wants and what the ego wants are quite different. And the ego wants an easy ride, and the soul wants growth and understanding and expansion at all times. And sometimes that can look like, to the ego, it can look very frightening. It can look scary. It can look like threatening, certainly. But when you transform those early experiences and have new insights and understanding about why this happened, then you're at peace. and you have freedom of choice. And I will say that freedom of choice is really, to me, and I don't know that many people get this, but it is what happens when you're in a wonderful, committed, soulmate, earthmate relationship, is that you never feel trapped, you never feel stuck. I'm choosing to be with my husband every single day, and that may change at some point that I choose not to, but there's never a feeling that I don't have the choice. We're just choosing because it feels so good and yummy. It feels like I'm making the choice on a daily basis to be with that person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Do you think, though, there is maybe a kind of danger in looking for a perfect relationship?
Looking for a perfect relationship, yeah, that there is I would say not really, because and you heard my own story about leaving something that was just mediocre. I mean, it wasn't horrible. It was just passion. It was without passion and without expansion. And what is different, though, from what I'm explaining about this model of relationship is that it's not based on sexual chemistry alone.
Right.
And so when you are out there looking for this person, and the exercise that we're going to do in a minute for singles is going to highlight this. But when you're out there looking, you're in a place where it doesn't even matter if you find that person or not. You just won't settle for anything less, and you're happy either way.
Yeah.
But the hallmark of a good relationship is that it's easy. And I'm not talking about just your average couple, because I think a lot of relationships out there are awful. But there are those people, and we all have it, and I was fortunate enough to have my parents as my role models. There are couples in your sphere that I know that you could name, that you see them, and there is still, even after decades of being together, you see this connection, this softness, this real wonderful exchange of energy. It's a cohesive unit that they're together, serving a purpose not only for themselves, but their love is a model for the world of how good it can be to be in partnership. And not everyone wants that. Certainly, not everyone says, I want to be in a committed relationship, and that's fine. But those of us that do and have a calling, I really think it is a spiritual calling. And one of the quote that I got from this group that did some research, Cobble and Patterson in 1982 came out with this to summarize what they found, which was, those kind of couples that I'm talking about utilize coping skills to resolve problems created by internal and external stress and to recover or adapt to trauma. So they have those skills in place, and they don't have to work at them. It's the nature of their relationship that makes it easy for them to be able to face whatever's happening. And I like to call that the super resilient couple. That things happen. Things happen in life. Things are going to happen. You're going to have really bad days when things just come at you from all sides. I know I've got 2 teenagers. I'm right there. And when that happens, I not only turn to my partner, but I know that my partner will help facilitate my healing and the work that I need to do in order to get to the other side. There's support. There's real support.
Yeah, so you're helping each other to grow, aren't you, really?
You're helping each other to grow, and you're respecting each other as individuals. And you know, in our society, I think we really have put too much emphasis on the notion that we have to be completely compatible and have the same hobbies and that sort of thing.
Right.
I mean, what really epitomizes this is the online dating scene. So you put in a little profile about, I like to do this and I'm interested in that, and the computer spits out people that you are compatible with in that way.
Right.
And what really proves to me that that is not the be-all, end-all that it's made out to be is they have the same amount and percentage of divorce rate for people that meet online than those that just meet through regular avenues, traditional avenues. So it's interesting. We really have put a great deal of emphasis on that compatibility thing when it really isn't. I mean, it's fun to do things with your partner, but it's fun to do things that you really enjoy doing on your own, and there's never insecurity that anything's going to happen to the relationship because you're in this place of really respecting each other as individuals.
Right. And that's like freedom as well, isn't it? It gives you freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's do a little exercise here for those people that are seeking relationship. And for all of you out there that are wanting relationship, close your eyes and have and I guess we announced at the beginning just bringing a piece of paper and a pen for notes. So if you don't have that handy, have that close by. Take a moment and go grab a pen and a piece of paper. You're going to need it when you open your eyes. All right, so I want you to start tapping. And you can tap on your finger points, if that's less distracting with your eyes closed. If you're more familiar with all the tapping points, just go ahead and do that. Whatever feels most comfortable. And it's a gentle, easy, light tapping. Okay, now you're going to imagine that you've had a really long, hard day at work or with your children, or however you spend your time during the day, an average day, but today was just particularly tough. You're tired, you're drained, and you're spent. Now, you get to your house, and before you walk in the door, you remember that your beloved is there on the other side of the door. And you're starting to feel lighter already. You walk in, and before you even see or hear them, you know that you are loved. And I want you to ask yourself, how? How do I know that I am loved? What are the subtle indicators that I am in a partnership with someone and that I'm not alone? What is it about the energy of this place, my home, the physical environment, the way the space looks, the way that it feels, that says, I am loved and I am in love? And take in all of that information. And I want you to keep tapping. And now, I want you to know that your partner is approaching. So you're going to see your partner, but not with your physical eyes. You're only going to sense or see, feel, know their energy. You know this person by the energetic connection that you have with them. And they greet you in a way that makes you know without a shadow of a doubt that you're loved, and this person knows that you love them too. Now take notice. Where do you feel this in your body? Again, how do you know that this person loves you and that you love this other person? And now you can stop tapping wherever you are along the points and take a deep breath in and out. And staying in this space, slowly open your eyes. And on the piece of paper in front of you, you're going to write, what are the signs and outer manifestations of this kind of love? What are the outer manifestations of this kind of love? When you walked in that door and you looked around, what was there that made you feel you're in a loving relationship? Number 2, what were the inner manifestations of being loved or loving in that way? Internally, what were those inner manifestations? Or did you feel that in your body? How did you know? And then, lastly, number 3, what is it in your life now that prevents you from feeling that way about yourself right now? Are there money challenges? Are there problems with your family of origin? Past relationships that aren't complete? Is it a problem of self-worth? Is it your belief system? Thinking that there's something wrong with you that you have to fix before this person shows up? Or a reason why you can't love yourself completely in that way? And I want you to look at all the answers that you came up with in number 3 and know that that's your tapping list. Gary, you on?
I'm here, I'm listening. Of course, I'm already married, so... Well, I can imagine that's very useful, you know, especially, and you know, when you are single, sometimes you can get very desperate, can't you, trying to, like you were saying earlier on, find that right person, yeah?
Mm-hmm. And what you need to know about that is the more you stay in that vibration of desperation, the less likely you are to attract a partner.
Right. Is that almost like pushing it away?
Exactly. It's exactly like pushing it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you think that sometimes unconsciously we're not aware of the fact that we are doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you mentioned this earlier, and I meant to get back to it, which was the clue of seeing repetitive patterns. So if you make a list of the people that you've been with throughout your life, and detect a pattern, oh yes, it's always the same guy showing up, just a different name and a different haircut, or the same woman, and she always does this, and she always doesn't do this other thing. So sometimes that's a way to get insight into what the pattern has been. But sometimes, like you said, it is subconscious. So one of the ways that you can get around that is ask the people closest to you. Ask your friends. So if I had a type, what type would that be? You've seen me and be with 100 different people. What is it that you see about the kind of people that I'm attracting?
Right.
And they'll know. They'll know.
And do you think sometimes we can be triggered maybe by, say if we've got a husband or a boyfriend or whatever, and they say something in a manner that your father said it, or the tone of voice, or a look, or something like that, and that can trigger us into behaviors?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And not just trigger it. Absolutely. They trigger us into behavior, and that's the reactivity piece. Like you're reacting. You're triggered a lot in relationship. There is something to heal there. But sometimes it just shows up so I mean, it's just mind-blowing, some of the things that I hear in my practice. The similarities are just are ridiculous. They're so obvious that they're right in front of you, and you can't see them because you're so close. I remember working with a client who she was working on. She found that the pattern for her was always attracting men that she did not have any chemistry with. So safe, quote unquote safe guys, because she wasn't really that attracted to them. They were wonderful men. She just did not have the chemistry with them. No. And what I asked her, well, when was the last time you felt chemistry with someone in a romantic way? And she suddenly remembered that the last one had really, really betrayed her. Had in fact had an affair with a friend of hers or an acquaintance.
Yeah. So you wouldn't want to commit, would you, then, after that?
Of course, and that's where the psychological reversals are there that we work with. Why would I prevent myself from being in a relationship, or a kind of relationship like the one I'm describing? And when we, yeah, absolutely. And then when we went digging around, and we tapped on the scene of their eventual, confrontation. When she did find out, I asked her if his energy reminded her of anyone else, and she said, "Well, he's exactly like my father."
Yeah.
Sort of cut off from his emotions, really not being available, and then she remembered that when she was a child, her mother sat her down one day and said, "Your father's cheating on me with my best friend."
Right.
I mean, it's you can't make this stuff up. It's just unbelievable.
No, but with EFT, we can find out, explore, and almost like a Columbo, if you like, and really discover all these things.
Absolutely, and sometimes we need help. One of the things that I love about EFT, and I know that that's the draw for many people, is that it really is at its core, it's a self-help tool, and you can certainly do a lot of wonderful work on your own, really profound work, completely on your own. But then there are those times that you need assistance, and especially when it comes to trauma. And it could be the small t traumas that happen before age 7. Then it really behooves you to seek some professional help. because there's a way that just by having another person ask you questions will really trigger some response and deep inside you, and you'll see things that you normally wouldn't see on your own.
And maybe your unconscious doesn't want you to see them because, like we were saying earlier on, it is trying to protect you, isn't it? And it's got your interests at heart, even if it doesn't make sense.
Sure.
So,
absolutely.
Well, we're into the last 15 minutes now. What have you got to share with us in the last 15 minutes, Alina?
Well, I would say don't give up. The things that are happening currently for you are all there as a gift at any point for you to just look at, and with a lot of compassion for yourself and the journey that you're on, and understanding that everything that you're experiencing, no matter how bleak, it's really there to assist you, and sometimes it's to learn contrast about what it is that you don't want by process of elimination. I mean, sometimes it takes a while to get clarity and understanding, and that's why you rarely see couples that they've married young, their failure rate is so much higher than the average couple that meet later on. It's because we're still developing what it is that we like, our individual tastes and preferences for what kind of partner we want. And the exercise that we just did really gives you will give you a lot of insight into what it is that for you is the turn on and will continue to turn you on. Emotionally and physically and every other way, is how do I know love? How do I sense that? Where does it show up in my body? What are some of the things that make me know that I'm loved? Gary had a great video on couples work, and he described his challenge with his ex-wife, because he was highly kinesthetic and she was visual or auditory, and she wanted to hear him express his love, and he wanted to just show her physically. And so it's good to know that up front before you ever get involved with someone else, and make sure you give that to yourself. The more that you're in that vibration of loving, whether it's yourself or anyone else, the more it just attracts the same. Right.
Yeah, we've got some questions coming in, but most of the questions are more like statements, really, coming in here. But if somebody's got a real definite question that they're just hanging in there and they really want to ask that in the chat room, or even put their hand up, are you open to taking some calls at the moment?
Sure, and I can see everyone.
Hannah B had the hand up, whether we've gone by the question or not. But Hannah, if you want to ask now, Alina, the question that you had, then you're quite welcome to. Hannah? Go ahead. I know sometimes we've gone past the actual subject that they wanted to ask about, but I think that's what we've done there with Hannah. So,
okay.
Like I say, if anybody else wants to just talk to Alina, then they just need to put their hand up within the room and push the button there, and we can see that you want to ask a particular question. So, what else can you share with us, Alina?
Well, I want to share with you that that my journey, as you heard in the beginning of the call, wasn't easy. I don't want people to think that I'm this expert and specialist in EFT and relationships, because it came easy to me. I had a lot of very challenging relationships, and I was engaged to someone that was borderline abusive. I was with someone that I thought was going to be my partner for life, and this person, really at the time I thought broke my heart in a profound way that might never be healed.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't an easy road, but now that I am with the person that I'm meant to be with, I can see how every single person that came along, from the ones that I left because I didn't feel that it was the right person, but treated me wonderfully, to those that weren't so kind, all had left some piece with me that I used to heal myself and to call forth anything that needed to be changed in order for me to be the right person that would then be able to attract the partner that I'm currently with, who is, beyond a shadow of a doubt, he is the person I am meant to live the rest of my days with.
And it's all part of the experience and the journey, isn't it, really?
It really is. So it all goes back to the 3 reasons why anyone would show up in your reality, and through EFT and tapping on some of those really awful things that happened. I really did get to that place where I understood, okay, that's exactly why this person needed to come to me at that point in my life.
Yeah, like you say, you have an understanding for that. I think we have somebody, I think it's Hillary. Hillary, I think you wanted to ask a question. You're through. Hello, Hillary? Hello, Hillary, are you there? Hillary has definitely got her hand up in the room now. I think when we get to go on the line, that's when the fear comes in. But it is a tackleable issue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's. We have got quite a few hands coming up now. So sorry to go away from Hillary, but obviously I think I could kind of hear her in the background there. So let's try Cindy. Cindy Shouty. Cindy?
Did you say Cindy?
Yeah, we did. Hello.
Okay.
How are you doing, Cindy? Thanks for joining us on the call, and you're through to Alina.
Thank you so much for this call. It's wonderful, and it's very timely. I have a family in crisis, and you talk a lot about couples, but this is all about a whole family.
Mm-hmm.
And I am very familiar with EFT, and I recognize it's great help. But what do you do when you've got a family in crisis and you know that EFT could really help us all, but they're not really interested in doing the EFT? Where do you go to get family help at that point?
Mm-hmm. Well, if they're not interested in EFT, then they're not interested in EFT. And my question to you is, have you worked on all of these things on your own for what's happening for you?
I would say no. I haven't worked all of these issues out. A lot of them are just coming into my consciousness, if you understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be, and I have been working on them since I recognized them, but I will be working extensively on myself. However, like I say, there's a lot of people here that are in pain. Mm-hmm. And knowing what I know about how it goes to the root of the problem and heals it from, like you say, from an early age, I would really love to bring it back to my family.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if there are some things that you possibly know about that I don't in doing that.
Mm-hmm. Well, certainly with matrix reimprinting, we can work surrogately. We can do surrogate tapping, but and the most effective way to do surrogate tapping is to make sure that you are not heavily invested in the outcome.
Exactly.
And
I know that.
yeah, and that sort of state of being completely neutral and detached really comes from doing a lot of EFT on yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alina, also sort of tapping on, even though, you know, I want them to do this,
Exactly.
you know, and,
yeah.
and you know, even though I have the answer for them and they won't accept it or
Yeah.
whatever, yeah.
And
Right.
I will also point out, you know, the 3 reasons why people show up in your hologram. That is sort of a I really got that from my quantum physics work. So that's one way to look at it. These people, even though they appear to be separate from you and are your family, they are only there for one of those 3 reasons. So it's all good.
Right.
Even if in the moment it looks horrific, it's one of those 3 things, and that's why they're showing up in your reality. And
Does
then
that help, Cindy?
That does.
yeah.
Right, right.
And then the second thing is knowing that everyone is there on a journey, on an individual journey, then they absolutely may need to go through what they're going through in order for them to get closer to their life's purpose. So you're not going to take that away from them if they're not ready to see it that way. They need to have that full experience, no matter how horrible it appears. They may need to go that, and you know, I can look around my small community and know that there's a couple of people that just come to mind immediately off the bat. Oh my gosh, these folks had horrific adolescent years, and now they're the pillars of the community mentoring teenagers. And had they not had that experience, they would not be so gifted in what they do now.
So it's all about experience again, isn't it? So
Right.
in the journey. So, well, Cindy, I'm going to have to cut you short because we're running out of time, but I hope that helped.
It did help. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
All right, and
Cindy.
thanks, as I say, yeah, for coming on the call with us. Okay, and so that's interesting, Alina. I mean, there's so many different things you can deal with, isn't there? So.
Yes.
Okay, so we're coming to the end, Alina, and do you actually work with people, and do you do training and other things so people can get in touch with you if they like what they've heard today and they want to take this further?
Yes, I do workshops and trainings. I teach EFT through EFT Universe, and also matrix reimprinting. I'm going to be teaching a teleclass on the relationship nexus point. If you're feeling stuck, this is really developed to get you out of that feeling and be able to make clear choices.
Right.
And I'm also doing got special permission from Alan Seal to do manifestation wheel workshops that integrate EFT and matrix reimprinting. So it's just a way of manifesting that's using EFT and Native American spiritual medicine wheel.
And people can get hold of you, can't they? I think it's tapyourpower.net, isn't it? They can explore your website and everything. And also I've got to say thank you to you for supplying so much material on the EFT Hub itself, because I think we've got lots of videos now, haven't we, on various subjects, yeah?